they left.
Welcome back, Tricksters, to another Top 5 with Trixx. Today I'm covering something that I've loved doing ever since the day I was created. Not spending money. It's my most favoriteest thing. Free games are actually becoming more and more prevalent in the market due to microtransactions, and for some reason our willingness to spend money on purely cosmetic items that make us look cool but do absolutely nothing to impact our gameplay. Anyways, here's 5 games that if you're tight with the pennies as I am, you want to check these out. Oh, I almost forgot. I never mentioned hitting the like button or hitting the sub. Just wanted to remind you guys that I never mentioned that stuff. Lost Ark was co-developed by Tripod Studio and Smilegate and was released in 2019. It was first released in South Korea and was a huge success. The game was then released a few months later in Europe and USA, and again, gamers went crazy for it. Lost Ark is an RPG that mainly focuses on PvE, but does contain PvP elements as well. You create your character by picking a class, and then in true RPG fashion, you level through the game by completing quests, leveling your character, and our most favoriteest thing to do, get the best rated gear possible. The endgame starts at level 50 and consists of endgame rating to keep getting that gear score as high as possible to show your buds that you're an amazing gamer. Like most free games today, there are microtransactions that you can buy loot boxes to get access to loot you wouldn't otherwise have access to. This actually delayed the game being released in some areas, as some places do consider it a form of gambling for loot boxes. Many game devs are trying to lean away from that setup now to avoid those types of issues. Lost Ark is a great freebie to try out if you're at all an RPG action fan. Sims 4. I don't think I need to even break this one down, as it's one of the most well-known games out there behind Super Mario and Pac-Man. The reason I'm happy to add this into the top 5 is that the game just turned free to play with the planned release of Sims 5. Sims 4 was released in 2014, and like the previous versions of the game, was met with rave reviews. The fanbase loved the additions, and the newer players to the game were eased in and hooked by the many things to do and different ways to play the game. If you've been chilling under a rock for a decade, then let me fill you in. Sims is a real-life simulator. You make your person, build a house, get a job, or not, and do all the daily things you have to do in real life to keep your person happy. Eat, shower, poop, etc., etc. There are a magnitude of jobs and businesses you can do that have varied levels of income, so you can earn more money to expand your house or just buy a new one. Talking to other Sims can build your relationship with them, which can result in dating, marriage, kids, and then you can play through those life cycles as well. It can be never ending if you want it to be. Or you can just walk your sim into a swimming pool, pull out the ladder, and watch the torture of your poor little Similonian. There are a ton of expansion packs for clothes, pets, traveling, etc., etc. These are not free, but can be very inexpensive and can really add to the base game if you get bored with it. If you like a getaway from your normal life, download this immediately. Warframe was released in 2013 by Digital Extremes, and don't let this release date fool you. This game more than holds up with the graphics and gameplay of today's AAA titles. Being a smaller dev team that you would normally see from this type of game, Warframe did not get the push and exposure that another title may have gotten for this caliber of game. The game started on a bit of a rocky road, but the devs literally listened to the player base and added and expanded and added and expanded to what is now a fantastic title that every time I load it up, I still can't believe that it's free to play. You start the game by picking a warframe to play with. This is essentially a suit of armor with different abilities, and this is the focus of this action shooter RPG. As you play through the game, you unlock, craft, buy new warframes that completely change your style of play. The combat is some of the most fluid combat in any game. It's a shooter, but yet the mobility and speed of movement is mind-blowing. It's not just about running around a random planet shooting stuff. There are now space battles, huge cities with other players running around, a great story, and consistent updates to keep the game content fresh. If you ever wondered what it was like to be a powerful space ninja, then you should pause this video right now and start your download of Warframe, because it's impossible to be disappointed with this free title. Guild Wars 2 was released in 2012 by ArenaNet and sold over 2 million copies in its first 2 weeks. The devs made the game free to play as of 2015 and since have released 3 expansion packs with a 4th one confirmed but no release date locked in as of yet. Guild Wars 2 is an MMO and has an in-depth character creation system. If you're like me, then you might just be spending your first 2 hours of game time doing just that. There are 5 races to choose from and 9 professions, which are essentially classes with different skills and also determines the types of gear you can use. The game uses a skill-based combat system and you have to select only 10 skills from a larger pool of skills, making your strategy for play very important or you could find yourself lacking some serious punch. One big thing to note is that there's no healer class. Each character will have their own healing ability as the devs decided it would be very restrictive to need to have one specific class in every group for play. When playing in the world, the game adjusts the level of the player to the surrounding mobs, meaning that even at high level, the areas you go into will still provide a balanced challenge. In regards to PvP, if that's your jam, all players will fight at level 80, which is the max level, to ensure a level playing field for all. The graphics in the game may not be amazing by today's standards, but the gameplay and challenge the game provides will help you ignore that and will suck you in for days and days of playtime. Marvel's Snap was released in 2022 by Second Dinner and is a very different type of game than others on today's list. This is a collectible card game and has exploded in popularity since release. But Trixx, there are 100 million card games free out there. What makes this one any different? I'm so glad you asked. Snap has an instant appeal to any superhero or Marvel fan, as being able to collect and play with your favorite superheroes is obviously a huge deal. One reason that this game is on the list is the ease of play. The devs made the game in such a way that after 10 minutes of play, you know how the game works and can develop your own thoughts on how you want to play. It's not as complicated as many other card games can be, but yet it has enough variation in each battle to keep it interesting. Each match should only last about 5 minutes, and so being able to pop on and pop off when it's convenient for only a few minutes is highly appealing. There are of course battle passes and skins you can purchase, but these are optional and you can absolutely climb the ranks using the cards you retrieve freely as you level your account. This game can suck you in very easily, and the fact you can access it on mobile and its interference is so user-friendly is very dangerous for those slower days at work. If you're not really a big card game fan, but don't mind them, I still recommend you try this one. It's a ton of fun, with no risk to your wallet, and it'll make your poop time fly by. Free stuff. Love it. Well, talking about free stuff, I wanted to mention 2 other things. If you haven't looked at the Xbox Game Pass yet, do so. Since its development to be able to play most games on PC, it's almost a no-brainer to sign up. I'm not sponsored or anything by them, but I felt I should bring it up. Some of the new game releases on it are well worth the yearly subscription fee. Also, if you're a PC gamer, keep an eye on the Epic Games Store. They release free games every month. You have to grab them or they're gone forever. Some are junk, but it's worth keeping an eye as they sometimes release really well-known games from time to time. Alright, it's time for me to go build a swimming pool for my sim to take a permabath. If you haven't seen our top 5 superhero vid, then head on over and do just that right now. Till next time, stay classy, tricksters.